Hi there, welcome to the Noah Presgrave case. There's been more shocking developments and all kinds of chaos going on within the community, and today we're going to be looking at a small portion of it, and it does involve some familiar faces and responses from others. I'm seeing it for the very first time, so it will be my raw reaction, and I'll be analysing it and just trying to understand what's really going on. How significant is it about the case, and does it link more so to the past, present, or could it tie on with the future? Welcome to those that will be watching the live premiere when it does come out. Share your thoughts, reactions in the live chat on the right hand side of the screen, and at any point and watching on catch up, be sure to leave your additional thoughts, comments, whether you agree, disagree, any questions whatsoever down below under the video, and I can respond back later by leaving comments. It will help spread awareness of the videos and get them out there more so more people get to see and catch up on all the stuff that's going on. Take in consideration that what I'm sharing with you today is just to keep up and to catch up with everything going on, so there's no areas missed, or at least an attempt to catch up and to provide people eyes where others may not. If you don't have access to certain Facebook pages because they're private, or you just don't use Facebook at all, at least here I can present it to you. Now, if you are interested in recent coverage and previous videos, you'll be able to find all that, the full playlist of the Noah Presgrave case, top right corner where the I symbol is. And if you do want to support the channel, down below in the comment section, there is a pinned message by me with the PayPal link. With that all being said, we're going to get straight into it and begin on Facebook. Here we are, so credit to the case discussion group. Not really seen as much activity since, or not really focused on it, but here we are now, one day ago, by Heather Robinson, and I am familiar with that name because we've looked at some previous posts or comments by them, and the caption reads, "So Justin Roy is innocent of spreading rumours and accusations, or so he says, but let's get real. His private messages tell a different story. The question is, why would he orchestrate drama behind the scenes without taking ownership of it? Regardless of opinions, one thing for sure, there's evidence galore of Justin, Alicia, and Caden pulling the strings from behind the curtain. That's a fact, and it's time to acknowledge it. Again, though, what was the motive behind this? Now, you know, if there is something going on with Justin, Roy, Caden Pressey behind the scenes, etc., I mean, it was at the very start when Caden Pressey, encouraged by Justin and Justin trying to get in contact with Anthony Linares to set them two up, for Caden to call Anthony Linares and have a chat. And of course, Anthony Linares had a few negative things to say about Justin, you know, too full on and constantly calling, and it's ridiculous. And Caden Pressey, along those lines, agreed with Anthony. So I guess opinions and attitudes have changed ever since. But as for first impressions, Caden wasn't exactly positive of Justin Roy there. That's just a bit of context in the background. Let's try and see what these photos are all about. So Facebook Messenger from the looks of it. Does it give a date? The 5th of the 10th, 2024. So it's kind of old now. Justin says, "Trust me, guilty conscience. This was premeditated." Caleb Newton, father to Jack Newton. Colton Newton, older brother to Jack Newton. And Travis Monson, and JJ Bumpaz are behind the scenes. Won't be any videos of them anywhere. Oh, so take in mind, this is an older screenshot and conversation, but what, JJ Bumpaz, his name being dragged back into the case when supposedly he was never there. And we've not really seen any photos or footage of him ever there. Now, in this comment, Justin says that there's no videos of them anywhere. And would that be true? Well, in terms of videos, I guess, but Justin Roy, when it comes to media, like photos, there is a photo of Travis Monson, at least, present at the party in the background, and him taking an own selfie in the bathroom area. So Travis, at least from the looks of it, has documented him being there at least on maybe the Saturday, more so. His profile picture updated, I believe, on the Sunday, but that doesn't mean to say that Travis was there at the party to upload the photo. He could have uploaded the photo elsewhere, different location. Not seen any footage of Caleb at all. No photos, No Colton, even though Colton was supposedly there Saturday. As for JJ, not seen anything to do with him, but JJ over time has said he was never at the party, never present whatsoever. But there was that time in 2024 when the likes of Vanessa Salazar, Dina Rose and a coven of others were really going in at it with JJ, kicking it all off. Now, it makes me think with Justin mentioning JJ's name here, was Justin a part of that group as well back then? Does anyone know? Besides that, Justin says Mikey Lair is the black guy in the videos. They called him Iron Mike Tyson. We're familiar of course. What else? Carter slept with Noah to get back at Jack for sleeping with Phelan, or Fallon, however you say the name, Durbin. It's all coming out now. Jack set everything up for Sunday night. So at least in my opinion and reaction-wise, it's the first time I'm ever seeing stuff like this. Is this what's considered rumours or fact? Taking in mind Justin wasn't there at the party, but if he reached out to people that were there or people that reached out to him, vice versa, you may learn along the way. But is there any actual hard evidence of them? Now, in terms of, I think, what we've heard of previously in conversations, that Noah was threatening to tell Carter Combs what Jack had done, and that whole argument that stemmed back from Saturday or more so past midnight going into early Sunday morning, Justin quoted it as it was physical, there was pushing and shoving, and Caden Pressey had to step on in to break up the argument. Caden Pressey has never acknowledged that, nor mentioned stepping on in to break up an argument, just that Caden added on with context saying he overheard it, and that was basically it. And it was to do with Noah giving a piece of his mind to Jack, for Jack going behind Noah's back, for Jack flirting with Phelan, or Fallon, but not at the party, some other time previously. And Noah wasn't too pleased with that, of course. But, you know, that's what Caden says, what Caden heard. How consistent, how true is it? Who knows at this point? We've got to be careful and sceptical with how it's all gone up to now. But yeah, as what Caden said, it was only to do with Jack flirting with Noah's girlfriend at the time. But then again, I'm going to be honest with you, I get so mixed up with the bloody names. You got Phelan, Fallon, but then you got Nevaeh, another one or the other. So fucking car crash, to be honest. But yeah, the thing is, with Noah, let's just say if Jack had slept with Noah's girlfriend, or if it was Noah's ex-girlfriend, then it shouldn't really be of much concern to Noah if Noah has moved on. If it's to do with Noah's girlfriend, actual girlfriend at the time, you can understand why Noah wouldn't be too pleased and upset, and more hurt because of best friend doing it. But then again, considering that Noah Presgrave supposedly slept on the floor next to Logan Jernigan, and from what Noah's family members like Ashley Chadwick, more so Robin Smith, said, Noah did more than kissing with Logan Jernigan, maybe on the sexual side, physicality, intimate. So Noah's in no position. Whilst, yes, Noah is the victim in the whole case, this particular event, if Jack had done something behind Noah's back, it's not good at all. But, you know, has Noah done good himself? If Noah was supposedly flirting with other people at the party and possibly doing more with someone like Logan, as it's gone about within Noah's family talking about it on Parts in True Crime. You got to take that into consideration as well. It doesn't justify the death, but it doesn't highlight people in a very positive, pure light, does it, either? So I've got to be realistic there. But, you know, is anyone aware of this stuff? You've seen it before? BS or the truth? Let me know your thoughts below. Does any of it surprise me, though? Well, if Carter had slept with Noah, supposedly, what day would that be on? Jack setting everything up for Sunday night. So what? The sleeping around happened on the Saturday? Or at some point on Sunday? Jack found out, hence why he started setting everything up on Sunday. Hey, Noah, come back to the party. We want you here. I want you here. More so I can be close to you and get revenge for what you did to my girlfriend? Could that be the case? But then what about the reality of nowadays that Jack and Carter are together still? So it wasn't that bad, was it? And if it was Carter that decided to sleep with Noah and Noah wanted to as well, it's kind of like 50-50 there. So if Noah's going to get punished and told off at the party by Jack, well then Jack should be annoyed with Carter as well. If not, it seems a bit one-sided, a bit unfair in some way, but different relationships, different mindsets. As I said, this is all just words, no hard evidence or actual facts, but I'm just reacting to it for the very first time. That's all, trying to make sense of it in the moment. That the understanding of, if any of this did take place, I guess, to the girl trouble, possible cheating, flirting, stabbing behind one another's back, eye for an eye, and eventually leading up to full-on revenge, murder, and then foul play. I guess that's what you could interpret from the comments here. May 12th, 2024, somebody says to Justin, you mentioned above a person by the name of Caden. Who is that? Caden Pressey. Now this is in 2024 of May, which I think is around the time or around the month of possibly when the autopsy report came out. By 2024, I guess people are already familiar with the case, but this particular conversation, who's this Caden? Well, Caden Pressey, you would think, but no last names directly mentioned at the moment. Justin's response was, Caden's behind the scenes for now, helping. At the time, Caden behind the scenes, and ever since, I guess Caden's been a bit more vocal here and there. What has Caden done behind the scenes to help, which is different to what he's done in person or more so publicly online? Because publicly online, Caden Pressey has failed to answer simple questions, failed to answer critical, important questions, which if he did, it would have reduced the tension, the heat levels, and he would have been better off. But instead, he just kept saying, y'all this, y'all that, y'all, however you want me to say it, I can say it. People making a mockery of the case, that's what Caden says, and so on and so on and so on. A lot of noise, to be honest, doesn't help. In response, you mention Caden heard Jack and Noah fighting that night. What you mean, arguing more so? Some photo there. What time did Caden hear Jack and Noah arguing again? The heated argument about the girls. And that was May 7th. Or I guess 2024 possibly. In response, Alicia, because that is Alicia's profile picture, even though it's lacking context, that is Alicia responding because we have seen those screenshots clearer previously, says 3 a.m. on Sunday when Georgia was, unfortunately I can't read the last bit of that because it's got that bloody big dot there. I don't know if that means, because I can't remember the previous screenshot, when it showed it all, when Georgia was, arriving or leaving. It's just a bit all over the place. If the supposed argument happened 3 a.m. on Sunday, kind of like what Caden was getting at, but Caden did say it was past midnight, 00:00, going into Sunday. 3 a.m. on Sunday isn't really past midnight, is it? So we've got the time discrepancies yet again, which is typical. But then, whether it be meant in the same sentence to do with Georgia, well, to my knowledge, and from what Caden has said, when Georgia arrived at the party, it was on a Sunday, but it was at 10:30 p.m, not 3 a.m. And in terms of when leaving, it was on a Monday and supposedly around 2 a.m. So I don't know what Alicia's referring to there about when Georgia was this or that. Are you mentioning it in the same breath as in the time of 3 a.m? Sometimes when people respond back and answer questions, their sentence structuring is so poor, hence why it leads to misunderstandings. Besides that, let's just have a look to some extent as for the comments. There's about 137, so I don't know if I will get through them all, or maybe I try, but I don't know about reading them all. So some person called Tammy Durden. Have we seen that name before? Not getting mixed up with another one. Fallon, Durbin, Tammy Durden. Right, I'm just checking the spelling just in case you're related. So this person, Tammy, says, did Jack Newton sleep with that girl, and did Carter Combs sleep with Noah to get back at Jack? If true, did Carter and Noah sleep together that weekend? Just wondering, because if so, wow. Donna Bond says, why is the young lady even being discussed? She was not in town that weekend. That's more JRBS. Oh, Justin Roy BS. Right, so Phelan, or Fallon, however you want to pronounce the name, she wasn't at the party, and I think we've already confirmed that more than enough now. That it was said, though, that Sunday morning after breakfast, when Noah returned back to his place of living at the time, he was hanging out with his girlfriend, supposedly. Don't know how true that is. Then later, Noah, independently himself, being picked up and then returned back to the party house. So someone like Phelan or Fallon, who wasn't at the party, does their name need to be dragged through all the dirt and the conversations and the drama and the conflict? An innocent person, a truly innocent person that will also be hurt by the passing of Noah at some point in time, now or more so in the past, and they're being brought up over and over again. But even if you're not associated with the case or present at the time geographically, you still get dragged in, and it's kind of unfair that you can't control it either because of other people's recklessness. But, you know, if any of it was true, one cheating on the other, one sleeping behind the other person's back, someone's girlfriend, as long as it actually happened and it was true, because I don't know, because I've not seen any evidence, but on the basis that it did happen, the reason why certain names are being brought up is just to give context, and then it's to refer back to, well, if someone did this to that person and then they did that to the other person and it was an eye for an eye, did it eventually boil over and lead to a fight, lead to Noah's death? But from the way it's possibly worded, Jack did wrong first, then Noah and Carter after. So Jack getting revenge after that, how dare you do that to my girlfriend? But if that really was the case, it's like an eye for an eye. You've settled the score, it's even now. If it was more so the other way around, that Noah did something to Jack first and then Jack was to get revenge after that, as in, you know, the murder theory, you could understand it. Far-fetched, but you can understand the motive behind it. The motive behind this is Jack does something wrong first. Jack supposedly starts it. Noah and Carter do something after. Jack's in no position to get triggered if Jack started it off in the first place. Just based off that common sense of thinking. But once again, maybe just base it off a theory and an idea only at this moment in time, just to play it safe. Tammy says to Donna, I'm not from the area, don't know anyone personally, but if all of that happened, I would think Jack would be pissed at Noah and Carter would be pissed at Jack if it actually happened that way. What do you think? And Donna says, can't give my opinion on what ifs, and I do know this young lady personally, and she wasn't here and she didn't attend the party, and we've not seen any footage either. And to be honest, I did give those theories and scenarios that if Noah's girlfriend was at the party at the time, would the outcome have been any different with Noah? And as well, if the girlfriend was there and Noah was sleeping besides Logan Jernigan, what would have happened about that as well? More complexities. We've got Betty. It's about motive for Noah being possibly murdered. But dang, that's a wild story if it's true. So yeah, Betty, same wavelength as me. It's trying to fill in the possible motives. I get it and what Justin is referring to. But, you know, as for whether it truly happened or not, unknown of. Tammy, and who's to say that the girl and Jack didn't sleep together days or weeks before weekend party? Michael Fazekas, this all came from Donabon's house. Justin Roy, at that time, was working hard, trying to find all of the possible rumours and facts regarding the case, as per the family's request at the time. The family's request in general, or a request to Justin Roy? Kind of implies that Justin Roy was working alongside Noah's family, or not. No orchestrated drama here. This is exactly what was asked of him to do. Find all rumours and facts. Okay, I get what you mean, Michael, but in terms of rumours and facts, what's considered in regard to these screenshots? Such as on the left, trust me, guilty conscience. Trust me with confidence, premeditated. Caleb, Colton, Travis and JJ behind the scenes. As in what way? Behind the scenes in helping solve the case and communicate, or behind the scenes in responsible for Noah's death? It's lacking context. In the other screenshot, Caden behind the scenes helping. Right, so you basically mean Caden at the time privately assisting and helping with whoever. But for Caleb, Colton and Travis and JJ to be behind the scenes, of what exactly? Behind the scenes of Noah's death, the party, or helping like Caden? Poor language and wording. And in the words of Michael Fazekas, Justin was gathering rumours and factual information. What's considered a rumour here and what's considered a fact? Do you know, Michael? Feel free to share your reaction, just to clear it up. But besides that, you never know, we might get some additional responses here. I think Jan Fiorillo came out of the woodwork as well, so we'll see what's mentioned there later. Cammy and Michael, wait, are you now saying that Noah's family requested Justin's help? They have very adamantly claimed they did not ever request his help, and in fact most of them did not even know Justin in more than a small town kind of way. So some even stating they had no idea who he was, and some of the family members were urging Justin to tone it down a little bit, as we saw. Why more misinformation? I get that there is a lot of back and forth with who said what and where. That isn't my point then. My point is why state Justin was doing all that per the family's request. And Donna responds to Michael, just when I thought you wouldn't stoop any lower. What you just said is absolute lies. And those aren't conversations he was having with me. You really need to stop listening to Justin. The three of you have no accountability. Wait, Justin, Michael, and who's the third person, Donna? Who's that third person? Also, let's be very clear. You're saying that Noah's family put him up to saying that about the young lady. I'd be asking for receipts on that one. Matter of fact, since you're the one that came in here and with these laws, why don't you show us all where him talking about that young lady with another individual come from this house? Let's see it. Right. Michael, I'm just adding clarity and context here, something you all typically forget to add to your post so people understand what's really going on. I'll let Justin respond with things you're requesting. Well, there might be some people that do lack context, but there's definitely some people from the army page, and I've seen that evidently with time. There's a range of different people from all over the place that can lack context. You know, when people have a go at me for dragging my videos out and talking long and saying a lot of words, it's because I'm trying to provide as much context as possible and in different ways and perspectives so people understand it better, but still isn't enough at times. Melanie, more importantly, who cares? Everyone is losing sight of the real reason we're on here. Yeah, maybe people on Facebook, but someone like me, I'm independently doing what I can and doing my own coverage and at times doing my own raw videos when possible. See, I'm doing it on YouTube. I come from YouTube, not Facebook. So I'm kind of separate from all the mess that is going on, which is probably a good thing, to be honest. Donna to Michael, Justin didn't make the comment. You did. I have all the screenshots, everything that he has said about that young lady and her father and the people he was discussing it with. Go ahead, reach out to him and have him post all that information. He can't because it's not, I've always been pro law enforcement, not to whatever. I know these people, personally, they're good people. They do a lot for the community. I've watched the man grow up, his entire family and all that Justin is saying about these people. I guarantee you, he doesn't have the nuts to say it to the faces. Well, I'm thinking about it. Which one of you gave out law enforcement's personal phone number to the Netflix crew? Was it you or Justin, seeing as how you both want to blow people's phones up? Oh no. And in terms of blowing phones up, not literally just calling and texting, I guess. To Melanie McDonald, are you related to Noah? Did you know Noah? Okay, well, let's get to the harder stuff. Michael, I don't understand. Are the things you say to people in private messages all lies or only when they're exposed publicly? How is anyone to know when to take you seriously? I've seen the messages with you admitting to seeing the roadside video with Noah's shorts being removed from his body. You said, yes, I saw it. I've also seen the messages of you saying law enforcement is going to throw you in jail if you continue talking about that video and charge you with obstruction. If there were some things that needed to be kept secret, you're doing a horrible job at that. To me personally, it seems like you've been blackmailed or coerced into recanting everything you've said. Reading the statements and comments in your private DMs to people seem like you wholeheartedly meant every word what you said, or that you said. Donna, so show everyone the proof of it? Sorry, I didn't forget about you. Pin, busy dealing with something a little bit more important. I'm sure I hope you sent those messages in screenshots to law enforcement, higher up in idiots you claim are OHP and OSBI. Right, that would be the best thing to do. That's real record, breaking news. Why don't you share that with us all? So there's a lot going on, but we take it in bit by bit and I'll give you my final thoughts at the end. Let's just keep going, see how much worse it can get. Cammy, so in your opinion, the family is not accurate when they've said they did not ask Justin for assistance. I've seen the proof proving they didn't. Would you have a source showing they actually did want Justin? The reason I ask is you edited your comment to reflect, and yes, there was an ask. I'm sure based on your commentary in these groups concerning the case, you would never share something you don't have evidence to support or a source. Would you mind sharing? Okay, well written. Donna, let me add, not like earlier when you stated that the 2 screenshots that were posted, the information came from my house and then you posted from over a year ago and then you posted one of me and Julie talking about I needed to send everything to Ashley Chadwick, is that? Even it's rumours. So what part of that was a lie? And you stated my lies were only bits and pieces. Questions and questions. So Melanie to Cami, first of all, you don't know what I know, and I certainly don't have allegiances to you or anyone else to say anything if I don't want to, and I'm also smart enough not to sit here and just take your word as God's gospel, and I don't even know you. Okay, we're getting very defensive. Michael, do you know this Cami person is another fake account? Don't know, that just really shows what an idiot you are. Please provide proof in response to Michael. Oh, bloody hell, spazzing out. Person says, not a fake, but I will admit my comment was unnecessary. I honestly wasn't trying to stir the pot. Seriously do apologise for the completely irrelevant to the case comment in the attempt to get you to respond. Right, so, well, Cammy's apologised. That should be over and done with there. And, yeah, it's kicked me back off the page. That's really, really good. Why does that happen? Maybe there's a back button somewhere. All comments. 137? Really? How come I can't see them all? Okay. We click that button there. That's so weird. All comments. Was it on the newest comments first of all? Oh, I do hate Facebook, to be honest. Brooke Bounce Carter. Well, I didn't see that comment before, so we'll acknowledge that. Brooke says, hell no, Carter Combs didn't sleep with him. That's more rumours and lies. And, you know, to be fair, some people out there would say, what does Brooke know? She wasn't even there. She wasn't at the party. Well, neither was Justin Roy that says Carter supposedly did sleep with Noah. So it cancels each other out. Really, what matters is the people that were there at the party that saw something like that happening, participated, or just that it never happened. We've got Mike Johnson. Justin is giving the excuse that they're out of context, that the whole conversation is never shown. Well, Justin, if that is the way you feel, post the rest. It's for brevity, but if you feel like you have a legitimate excuse, post it. I've never seen proof of anything from you, just a lot of I heard this and from someone. Yeah, I would agree to some extent. Brandon Robinson, Justin Roy doesn't need to be bringing my granddaughter into all this mess. Oh, okay. So this is where, you know, if it really is true, because I don't know all these names and how people are related, but yeah, at times there's been moments, and it applies on maybe the Sofa Sleuth page to the case discussion page and maybe the Army page, that you get familiar faces in the community very vocal people. Talk. And then a family-related member from that person being talked about a lot comes on and says, hey, you need to step back or calm down, Sam. That is when it gets quite important. And this Brenda, Justin doesn't need to be bringing my granddaughter into all this mess. Phelan wasn't even at the party. Like Brenda said, Noah's case has turned into a shit show. Ridiculous. A key person, from the looks of it, has spoken. So it's uncalled for. Well, some people don't care. They just run their mouth and keep stirring. The pot pisses me off. This is supposed to be about justice for Noah. There we go. Keep people coming on in. Brooke, to Brenda, would be great if he, as in Justin, would stop. Unfortunately, your granddaughter and 4 other people in this post were brought in that also had nothing to do with it. Andrea Jubrov, here's what I zeroed in on. She says 3 a.m. and exact time, which I assume she was meaning Monday morning. But what about? Because I tried interpreting it like that, Andrea, previously, 3 a.m. of Monday. But what happened 3 a.m.? Well, it was 2 a.m. when supposedly Georgia and Breeley left the party. So it doesn't link up there. In terms of an argument between Jack and Noah and Caden overhearing it, well, Caden said that happened Saturday past midnight going into Sunday early morning. Still doesn't quite add up to this, or it would not add up on the Monday, unless, and maybe it's how I heard it in the past, an argument between Noah and Jack, like past midnight Sunday early morning, the one what Caden overheard, and then there was a final argument between Noah and Jack on the Monday. One of my original map analysis projects, there was that mention of Jack and Noah arguing one last time. And ever since, it's not been acknowledged. And even by Jack Newton, when it came to the Partisan True Crime pre-recorded interview, when it came to that day of Monday and Jack's talking about what happened on that day, Jack didn't acknowledge it whatsoever. Acknowledged the first argument, as in Saturday night going into Sunday morning, but not the Monday one. And there was supposedly 2 arguments. And I think even Justin Roy may have mentioned it on Partisan True Crime in the interview. So why would a Monday morning argument between Noah and Jack get forgotten about, and we only focus in on the Saturday night one? Is it because only one argument took place? Who knows at this point? But that fair to there, we've already seen that before. Jen, I don't see what this proves, and Michael's response, it proves that they will use anything to distract everyone from the reality that Noah was murdered by trying to attack people for talking about it in private messages that are shared on here. If they want to share private messages, well, let's share all of them. Brenda says, what the hell? You should be ashamed of yourself for dragging a young lady who wasn't even at the damn party into this show just to prove someone else a liar. Shame on you, do better. Brooke says, what about the 4 other people he stated also that weren't there that night that are being blamed? You mean Justin Roy blaming 4 other people that weren't present? You're absolutely correct, says Brenda. I've seen no evidence of the other 4 named being at the party that fatal morning nor Sunday night, other than that, the scene with Ellie. So who are these 4 other people? Because I've not heard of those names or familiar with at this moment. Mike Johnson. What I've seen aloud on the Army page posted over and over again is grounds for one hell of a lawsuit. It's time people are held accountable for their words. Trashing people doesn't help get no answers. It just causes more distractions. Broke this right here. Michael does have some screenshots or of some sort. Who's in the green there? Michael says, Donna, is there a response and follow-up to that? No? Okay. Let's try and understand it. I really hope it doesn't kick me off again, because if it does, that's going to be a pain. So this is a conversation. DB, Donna Bond. Is this Michael and Donna, or Donna and somebody else? As for who, is Donna on the left in the grey box or in the green box? I'm not too sure. A person says, no, she blocked me before I could screenshot it, but Donna, I came across some big stuff. Zachary Wright paid off some big bills in May of 2023 and went on some big vacation lately. April 2023 is when Lucio died. I think Lucio is... Oh, what's the name now? You know, Caleb Newton with Rosa Newton. Rosa Newton's brother, I think. Lucio dying in the past, not related to the case whatsoever. But I guess some people were tying it with Caleb Newton and then the boating accident with the 7-year-old dying with the propeller. Accidental but mysterious, as in how one fell in 2020. And then that all being linked back to the Noah Presgrove case, and some say it's quite far-fetched. Bit of context. I guess Donna is in the grey box. Zach is being looked into. By whom? I'm telling you, he has been compromised. He's gotten a lot of money lately. No wonder all these damn kids and family members are so cocky and arrogant. They have helped. Jack said he trusts him tremendously. Wonder why? In response, I would tell you where he slipped up. Julie knows about it's been turned over to the appropriate department. Did you leave the email address for the Attorney General Flood, his email box? Right, it didn't kick me off. That's a positive. Kelly to Michael, looks like we have another liar. I mean, the screenshots say it all. You're such a clown, Donna says. You really shouldn't listen to him, and you really should have better investigators working for you. So back to the original post. Show me where talking about that young lady and her father come from this house, and those other messages that were posted. Show me where they came from the house. Excuse me, I've got so all over the place. Right, what's this one about? What does this actually say? Been out with family, haven't been. Okay, doesn't matter. Y'all be safe. Who is Braden Torres' dad? Never heard that name before. Braxton dad is Anthony Torres, but Braden is... Right, so how does this link to the case? A young man was at the party and said he saw Noah leave with Jack around 2 or 2:30. Wow, are you sure? Premeditated, possibly? That's what these girls are saying. That's in the back seat. Right. Braden is from Barb Blevins and Joanne Torres. The young man. Okay, what? So we're saying Braden Torres was the young man at the party. Is that a Texas boy? You know, in terms of the party goes, what we've heard of, these names don't ring a bell. But in terms of the references to Texas boys, never heard their names ever really mentioned or clearly identified. So any names that I see here could possibly be Texas boys. No guarantee, but just possibilities. But a young man was at the party and he saw Noah leave with Jack around 2 to 2:30 in the morning. What, the build-up, the beginning of it all? As in, oh, right, Noah, Jack, go elsewhere, and then Jack does something to Noah? Even if that was the case within that time slot, it was 2:42. Okay, like 12 minutes later. 2:42 when Caden was woken up by Alicia and that phone call announcing that Georgia on the way back home, Caden's cousin. And when Caden was woken up at 2:42, he said he saw Noah playing beer pong with Jack and Jasmine. So if in between 2 to 2:30 they did go elsewhere, Jack and Noah, not much must have happened then if about 12 minutes afterwards they're back inside, all happy and normal. But do we have any other context? Donna Bond, 13 hours ago, but this could have been, I don't know when. We can go ahead and add Caleb Newton to the list of adults that bought the alcohol, who says he wasn't present at the party, so that means there wouldn't be any videos running around with him at the party where they're shut the F move around buddy, you busted as well. I mean, look, when I look at this stuff, I'm seeing it for the very first time. It might have been said in the past. Have things changed since? And maybe to some people they have. And that's why people are saying, you know, what about what you said in the past? What about your past post? Is that forgotten about? Needs to be acknowledged. I mean, with my own independent thoughts, with the whole Caleb Newton situation, I've just based on party footage and photos, what I've seen, I didn't see Caleb. So does that just instantly mean that, well, then, because he's not in the photos or videos, then he's not there? Look, you can put that argument across and say there might be some other party goers to some extent, which we've never seen of in the photos or videos, but they were actually there. So that same rule of thumb could apply to other people too, in fairness. Donna. And who's in black and white? The Michael Hay something. This wasn't in a private group. This was on my personal page, and it was well over a year ago. Right, so even if it was a year ago or so it was in the past, where do things stand now? It's nothing new. Michael, more to come. Your lies won't go unanswered, so you might want to rethink your strategy here. So it looks like it's all crumbling. Anyone that believes this BS, the way it's put out, private messages me. I'll invite you into these private groups and you can see exactly who's saying that. What's that one? Hey, I'm Justin Roy. Are you okay? What's that? Dina Rose? Huh. Am I Bob? Who's Bob? I don't think when I get sideways over people, let me make this perfectly clear. This is not Justin Roy. This is a conversation between me and a friend who changed her contact information for me on her phone to show how easily things can be manipulated once again. Right. So that little screenshot, what we see there, it shows, I think, Donna in green and then Justin Roy in a grey box, but it's not Justin Roy. I do understand what's being put across here. I'm just wondering if Donna Bond is referring to the screenshots which Michael Fazekas have, which shows Donna Bond talking. It's not actually Donna Bond, it's actually somebody else changing the profile picture and the username to Donna Bond, just like how this was done here. So this screenshot, and you know what, it really wouldn't surprise me if Justin doesn't understand this, even though I'm making it as clear as possible. This screenshot is fake, as in that is not Justin Roy, as Donna says. It's actually a friend, it's another person who's just changed the profile picture and the username to Justin Roy just to show that you can manipulate and change it. Just messing about, supposedly. So something like this can be done so easily. The same could happen elsewhere with anyone. It's pretty dangerous, that, to be honest. You really want me to post a screenshot in which you stated if anyone screenshots this and it's shared publicly, you're going to be in a world of trouble? Send it to law enforcement first. Apparently you already told them everything, Donna. They told you to shut up. Is that right? You definitely send everything to law enforcement, as I suggested in my post. And now what's this particular one? Is this Facebook Messenger? Person called Julie. I've been talking to Ashley Chadwick, Noah's cousin, this morning, and she wants anything you can give her, even if it's just rumours. She's right, the pieces will fit together. Have you talked with her, Donna? Donna, yes, ma'am, a little. Oh, she knows what they're doing. She know we are getting to them. This is what the other problem is. A stranger, a person then speaks on behalf and says, well, this person wants this and that person wants this. Why can't Ashley reach out to Donna then, or Ashley reach out to someone on Messenger and say directly, I want this and I want that? You know, from the horse's mouth. It always seems to be lacking in this case, the horse's mouth. What else is mentioned there? So Donna says she interviewed one of the boys from here. She may have interviewed all the boys from here, Julie. You know one of the boys I'm talking about, or you know his dad or uncle anyway. You know what I'm talking about. Who's that? What, Jack? They did not even have those boys that she interviewed on the list. In this case, filed, they couldn't give me any information. Noah's death is ruled a homicide. Renee Milan told the boys before this Kathy ever even interviewed him not to say anything about being out there, them. See, we've got limited screenshots. Crypticness doesn't help. Rumours solve cases. Well, Maybe on some cases, but let me tell you something. The Dylan Rounds case, rumours absolutely destroyed it and destroyed people. It was not good whatsoever. Rumours don't always solve cases. Theorising, theories, and ideas can solve cases. There is a clear difference. Rumours, it's lacking evidence. Rumours, it's just talk and gossip. And normally, rumours tend to have a negative connotation attached to it. But a theory, an idea, an opinion, and constructed in a semi-formal basis, down the line, attached, associated with a form of evidence or material, works well and complements it. I've got extensive experience there because I've been known to do that in the past over time, and it did work and it did help. And it helped other people as well to get a better idea of what to expect next. But rumours, they don't really solve cases. Ideas and theorising do. There's a difference. Melanie, why are you guys still talking about Justin when we should be discussing Noah and figuring out how to get this case some real answers? Michael, because doing everything but getting to the truth is what they want. They want a distraction and a sideshow, not indictments and justice. Indictments, okay. Mike, well, there's nothing new in the case. Should more stuff be made up, or should all the lies be held accountable? Get to the facts, okay. What's the motive for their distraction? Coercion, blackmail, threat of jail, retracting gifts, loans from family trust, choose your own adventure, all speculation, of course. What makes one person's fact more valid over someone else's fact? It's all hearsay and opinion. The only side that needs to be taken is Noah's with tons of respect. Right. This isn't my post, says Donna. I keep my stuff on my personal page and I try to stay out of these groups because I have an attitude problem with, and I don't want the focus to be taken away from where it needs to be, but I'm only going to swallow so much of these. Assumption or opinion. This isn't about Justin's quest for justice. This is about Noah getting justice. They are not the same. Right, so it keeps going on and on and on and on. Oh, we've got definitions coming on in. George Choden, it's interesting how the dates predate the 23rd of May 2024 big reveal, so it appears to have been planned ahead of time to throw some people under the proverbial bus. What big reveal? Caden's alternative timeline and who he claimed was at the scene. None of this came out of Donna's house. By the way, it all came out of Justin, Roy's, Alicia's and Caden's mouths. I'm hot over this. I personally didn't post some of the screenshots that were sent to me because of him discussing that young lady with some of these scumbags, and I guess Fazekas doesn't realise who they are. Grrr. Tim Daniel, that was the date Caden supposedly made his statement. Having read much of Caden's language, we know he didn't write his own statement. May I ask one thing? The date of Caden's statement, is that the very first one he made on Facebook? Because if so, we can always refer back to it on my channel, because I did cover it in the past. Oh, Heather, the poster to George, you're spot on. You know exactly what I'm saying. What's baffling is why some people are intentionally spreading misinformation. It's mind-blowing. Others are accepting it without question and making excuses for it. Oh, we've got an original, a mod or admin from, I believe, the Army page, Dusty Butler. I remember that person. And Dusty says, to be honest, if, I guess, Justin wanted to start drama and mussing the rumour mill, he would have posted this stuff publicly. He didn't, but you did, so he was starting drama and rumours. Response-wise, I think there was a few more by Dusty. Okay, I just hope that it doesn't crash Facebook when looking at the additional comments. Siobhan, Justin's posted enough publicly. What he needs to do is shut down and hush because he's running on pure speculation that has been confirmed by him and Donna. He heard most of the stuff he repeats at her house with zero proof to back it up. Dusty, well, everything is rumour until the case is laid out in court. Tim, to Dusty. Can you just address where you stand on this post screenshots? You are expounding a lot of words and it sounds like you are defending Justin's outrageous statements here. Are you telling me you agree or disagree with the statement Justin made? Trust me, this was premeditated. Caleb Kelton. Travis and JJ behind the scenes. Carter slept with Noah to get back at Jack for sleeping with Phelan. Jack set everything up for Sunday night. Colton and Travis and JJ and Caleb were not even at the party on Sunday. Are you telling me you're going to join Justin in accusing all of these people in a plot to murder Noah? Are you also calling these 5 men murderers? Are the 5 men the Texas boys? Because I know the number 5 was mentioned by Robin Smith, who said police told her that the 5 Texas boys were cleared from the case. Could be different. Dusty says, I have seen Justin Roy say a lot of things. I have messaged Justin and had phone calls with Justin. In those conversations, we have talked about all kinds of possibilities, as most of the people who have now turned on Justin have. I think at points in this investigation, I myself have wondered that. I think without knowing what happened, then your mind can wonder. There's a lot of waffling going on. Multiple theories and ideas. Wasn't his son friend again? Well, my point is that he has no skin in the game. He is not having to defend his kids or worried that his kids was caught up in it. He had a connection with Noah, and so is only in it for justice for him. So what exactly does this prove the Paris? It's a fact because you say so. Siobhan, well, that's how people take Justin's comments, and he has no proof. When asked for proof, he clams up. Right. Dusty says, I've not commented on these pages for a long time, but feel the need to now. Justin has always been open that he has spoken with many kids that were in and out of the party the whole weekend. He has constantly gathered information from all people. He has gathered information, he's discussed it with people he thought he could trust in private messages rather than posting everything in public. Justin, of all people, has only ever had one agenda: to find the truth. He does not care who that truth lands on as long as there is justice for Noah. He has gotten emotional and aggressive at times, yes, for sure. He has gotten defensive, yes, for sure, because this has turned from actually seeking justice and truth to personal attacks. You do understand, Dusty Butler, that Justin Roy was in the background in a Facebook Messenger agreeing with other people, in which other people were willing and wanting to report and falsely report my videos to YouTube in hopes of getting my videos taken down from my channel and possibly more, as in my coverage on the case and keeping the case alive, that Justin was in agreement with other people in getting those videos taken down. Doesn't sound good, does it, Dusty? You are aware, Dusty Butler, that Justin Roy, alongside some other gremlins along the way, were also responsible for falsely accusing me of being classified as spreading misinformation about the army page when I never did that. But the actual reality was, and it was documented in my video in the moment at the time, was I was reading from a Reddit page in which other people were claiming that Melissa LeQuay, who was arrested in 2025 as supporter in the case, an advocate who did bad stuff in real life, was active and welcomed in on the army page despite being such a bad person. I did not say all that. I was reading what other people were saying, and the transcript proved it. But Justin Roy, in which he presented or received a screenshot from elsewhere, decided to show me saying it or interpret it with very, very limited context, and it's all documented on my channel before and after. I also documented it and countered it as well afterwards with what Justin showed, which was lacking context, with the full context, because I can actually do that myself. I'm actually more competent than other humans are. I did all that. And yet, the original intent behind it, and Justin, his terrible interpretation skills, his terrible, common sense, interpreting it, jumping the gun. It was all under control on my channel and in the video, and yet Justin misunderstood greatly and started yapping on elsewhere, and just other people just nodded their heads and said, yes, we agree. You honestly think that's normal, Dusty Butler? You think that's a good thing? Do you think, Dusty Butler, it's a smart thing for someone like Justin Roy to fail to understand that the video that I made and what I was covering wasn't what I was saying, it was what other people were saying, and that I didn't believe in it, and that I wanted and asked for evidence? So I couldn't have been attacking or spreading misinformation on the army page, but because Justin is defensive of the army page and beyond, when you're protective of something, you've got an emotional interest, an emotional connection. It can make you biased. Oh no, and Justin is the one to call me biased and unbalanced. You do understand, Dusty Butler. Justin Roy, besides some other people, was one of the ones to call me biased and unbalanced the moment I covered it from different perspectives and angles. You honestly think that's normal, Dusty? I have seen a lot of incompetence from Justin Roy, and over time it's got worse. And yet I defended him previously. Was it worth it? Not at all. What else do we have? Oh, there's a lot being posted now. Oh God, did I just see Jan Fiorillo? Oh no. Is this where we get like lots of long comments? Yeah, this has gone into an individual thread, so likely when I back out of this, I'm going to be kicked off the post because Facebook is shit. Brooke says to Dusty, oh, so it's gotten out of hand and caused distractions for people. Yeah, of course, personal attacks on poor Justin, heartbreaking for him. God bless his little black soul. We are all just going to overlook he is blaming and accusing innocent people that weren't even there. Yeah, Dusty, you're correct. Let's overlook all the evil things that piece of shit has done and who all he has hurt and put in legit danger. He will rot for what he has done. Mr. Christian man must have forgotten you reap what you sow. Boy howdy. I would hate to be on the end of the deal. I just hope all these kids and the families get to watch karma play out on Justin. Little birdie told me it's going to be globally. Got my popcorn ready. Global? What, as in the Netflix documentary? Airing it there? Some GIF? Dusty, I am not wasting my time with you. You have an agenda. You are a biased party in this situation. You can keep posting and commenting on Justin to distract from Noah. You do understand, Dusty Butler, that Justin Roy is biased as well, as in the microcosm example of what I just mentioned before, that with Justin being protective of the army page and, nurturing it with time alongside others and Dusty, you can become protective of your page, your community and what you've built up or what you've assisted in doing, such as Justin, appointing people maybe as moderators on and off and monitoring with time and making decisions along the way from public to private to get rid of the dark side members and more and whatnot and fake accounts. A lot goes into moderating and managing Facebook groups and pages. You develop an emotional connection. And once you develop emotional connection and attachment, your judgment can be blinded by emotions. And when you're too emotionally invested, it can make you biased. You don't see the whole picture. You develop tunnel vision behaviour. So, Dusty Butler, I ask you or mention to you again, at the time of when I was reading from a Reddit post about what others were supposedly claiming about Melissa LeQuay being from the army page, and it turned out not to be true. But in the moment when I read it, I said myself, I don't know if I believe it because I don't see any hard evidence. You'd think, Dusty Butler, everything was A-OK, yet Justin Roy took it upon himself, a crusade and conquest, to constantly mention my name and say that I've been attacking and spreading misinformation about the army page. But there was never any proof or evidence of that. And yet Justin tried using some kind of screenshot, some kind of transcript from my video, only one screenshot, which shows lacking context. Honestly, Dusty Butler, when we talk about biasedness, when we talk about over-emotional behaviour, I think it's very evident that we can see it, can't we? Besides that, what else do we have? There's been no ownership or remorse for a party held where minors were served alcohol and someone died. All I've seen is victim mentality. That is... Right, so no one's taking ownership, no one's showing remorse or something like that. So, Dusty Butler, what about the party goers where they've done posts on social media saying either rest in peace or, I hope there's justice or this and that. Maybe the odd JJ Bumpers post, maybe on TikTok. Jasmine Milan as well, the tattoo as well, honouring Noah Presgrove onwards and more. That means nothing then? That's a bit weird. Unless we're forgetting. That's why people question those that were at the party. Also, they do deserve to be charged with contributing to a minor at the very least. I mean, has Caden Pressey done lots of public posts online saying rest in peace Noah and this and that and showing lots of remorse? I mean, in terms of other partygoers that may have done interviews or broken down or got emotional, if those interviews have not been shown publicly, we're not going to know the people's true emotions. And maybe other people deal with it differently. Maybe not everyone is a big social media user at times about certain events and stuff. We never know. Also, they do deserve to be charged with contributing to a minor at the very least. Right, multiple minors at that. And before you try to defend that by saying that they brought their own alcohol, they still allowed the minors to bring it and drink it there, so they would still be charged. Anyhow, keep pushing the agenda. The truth will come out someday. Maybe you'll be vindicated. Time will tell. Brooke to Dusty. Hey, Dusty, who's pushing an agenda? Who's straight up accusing people of murder that weren't even there? God bless Yal. I'm embarrassed for Yal. Charge social hosting. Get after it and for it. I would love to know how that solves this. Please explain that. I'll be waiting. Oh, we've got more here. More and more and more. I'm very eagerly waiting on obstruction charges to be dropped on some. We all know how Ellie feels regarding Justin. I didn't say it would solve the murder or manslaughter case, which is what it says. What I'm saying is that there should be accountability for things that others would have already been accountable for. So glad you understand at least that part. Also, be embarrassed for yourself and the way you appear in public eye before you worry with anyone else's image. To be honest, there's a handful of people just in the community, not even in the case, but the community that can't even take accountability at times, and it really is embarrassing. I've seen it myself. We're all ready for the truth to come out. I don't think we're all ready for the truth to come out. Because some way or another, when the truth does come out, people will not be pleased or satisfied with it and will still find an excuse to complain, whinge, whine, or say it's not true or it's fake or false. Same thing happened in the Dylan Rounds case, and it's just ridiculous. Brooke, when did this become a murder case? You're making things up. I've never seen OHP state it as a murder. In fact, they stated not being investigated as murder. I have not one thing I'm embarrassed about except actually interacting with y'all. I've never seen people so hell-bent on blaming innocent people in my life. It's comical to me that you're following someone blindly because he claims to have talked to all partygoers, yet Ellie themselves have laughed and want no part with Justin. What's this about? Suppose they weren't even there when Noah walked off. By the way, his partygoers he claims to have interviewed have all this special intel, supposedly. Even when Noah walked off, he was asleep, so yeah, but okay. Right, well, it's funny considering he has information just in that goes against his narrative and keeps it from everyone, so you know more than medical examiner. George says to Dusty, you're biased if you're only looking at Noah's case through Justin Roy's. It's only premeditated murder eyes. You frankly don't care about wanting to find out what happened to Noah. Yeah, the point of looking holistically, and not everybody does that. I didn't say it was. I'm saying it's either murder or manslaughter just because it's not being told to you or the public that it's being investigated as murder. I can guarantee that they're looking at every angle. Well, just like how I'm looking at every angle, Dusty Butler. Dusty Butler, I'm looking at it from different angles and different perspectives, and Justin Roy has the cheek to call me biased for doing that. And some other people along the way. You think that's common sense? That's intelligent behaviour? I don't think so. It goes on and on and on. Yeah, on and on and on. It was not hit and run, foul play was involved. There was a massive cover-up by someone. Oh, God. Hey, honey, no need to explain manslaughter. Thanks, Jan. Funny people don't hear what I say. Yep. Okay, again, I don't blindly follow anyone, so keep telling yourself that. People only think things because Justin tells them to. To be honest, there are a lot of yes men and yes women in this case that Justin could say something and people do fall for it and believe in it. Just like the situation with what I was on the receiving end of. I've seen it, Dusty. I've seen it. I've experienced it. It's crazy. If anyone wants to pause the video, you can always do that. There's just a lot of talk. Oh yeah, Brooke. We know that Ellie thinks of him. He has 2 pieces of a 5-piece puzzle and one of which the 2 are wrong. And that's what Anthony Linares said on the phone with Caden Pressey for the very first time interacting. Oh God, Jan Fiorillo to Dusty. To say Justin doesn't start or spread rumours is not true, Dusty. Justin and his cohort Michael are both guilty of rumour mongering. Well, Jan Fiorillo, you're not really in a position to be talking after the things you've stated about me, you incompetent plank. Jesus. I remember you, Jan Fiorillo, saying that I've made a mockery of the case and this and that. And what else? That I have made a business, or I've made something out of myself and all monetary gain in such manipulative ways by covering the death of a young male Noah Presgrove, and that's how I've started my channel. That's how I've got all the views and the growth, because of the Noah Presgrove case, and it's all done in a negative way. That's what your interpretation was, Jan Fiorillo, of my channel. Yet you failed to understand that before I did Noah Presgrove, I was doing other cases. I was actually doing missing person cases, and I was actually creating music in which a music piece was actually featured in a short Indian film. Okay? And some of my nature footage appeared in a theatre play somewhere in Japan. But, you know, Jan Fiorillo, you just don't do your research. You just jump in on my channel like how Pam Feldman Garrison did. The obsessions with the BDSM, which I believe you mentioned, Jan Fiorillo, even though I've never really mentioned it as BDSM, but, you know, you seem to know more about that than me with the wording and language. The horse references, or Pam more so, the zoophilia and all that wacky wild stuff. Yeah. So Jan's not in a position to be talking in the first place when they've acted out in an incompetent way with me and my channel, with the false claims Jan has made about me and my channel. It's not looking good whatsoever, right? I'm seeing a lot of mess. I can do a separate video myself. The thing is, I don't forget what humans have done. Big scale, small scale. It can prove as a bit of a problem for some people. We'll just continue on. This all came from Donna Bond's house just where time was working. Right, so we saw that one, and it kicked me off before. Right, and that was the final comment and thread. From the looks of it, I tried catching up as best as I could. Okay, so it's very evident and clear that people might be at each other's necks at times, and then it's switching and changing. Once enemies, friends, and back and forth, pledging allegiance, switching and changing and all over the place. Musical chairs in some capacity. Not directly aimed at anyone there, but just in general, just the themes of it, because I've seen it in the past. I think the next video that needs to be done is kind of like a common sense one, but quite a sharp analysis, because, you know, the difference is with me and other people. I'm doing it on a different platform. I have my own channel. I do what I can and what I cover. And even if there wasn't much material, you know, like some people like to say, and Jan Fiorillo likes to falsely claim that all I do is this and that, and I need to rely on this and that from Facebook, that without it I would have nothing. You know, if you did your research, you'll find out that there's been cases that I've covered which has had very limited material, and I still made hundreds of videos, map analysis, theories and ideas, which some of which linked on with outcomes of cases, and I was right and I made my predictions as well. So because I've got a level of experience more so than other people, yet I'm drastically and far younger than other people. Besides all that, you know, because I do individual coverage and can, that's all I need to do. Yeah, humans can be cut out, ruled out, humans can be dead to me, etc. It's not that hard with time. I've done it in the past, I can do it again. You know, the true aspect or aim of justice. See, all you have to do, and I don't go on about it, but I can do a video just highlighting it once. The moment people start talking about the drama, the haters, this needs to stop, we need to do better, we're losing sight of the case, this is distraction, this is misdirection, we're here for justice, we're here for this, we're here for that. The moment you've got to remind yourself or remind other people of what's most important, clearly is a sign that things have been lost and control has been lost as well. And from then, it's just a crumbling mess, regardless of the pace of it. So what do you do from there? Rebuild it back up? No, not really. In the past, people have rebuilt things, rebuilt communities and gone elsewhere and parted ways and then created smaller sub-cell group divisions, and it's never strong again. Once the fractures are there, that's it. Game over. Sounds bad, sounds negative, it's what happens. Unless once you parted ways, you connected, you regrouped, and then stuck to that and did not bring anybody else in, did not interact with anybody else. You had a small tight-knit group and that was it forever. You might stand a chance there, but it just doesn't happen. So of course, you know, anyone can watch my videos. I can't stop that. But when it comes to what I cover as for videos, I have complete control of that. I did see a comment recently on one of my recent videos saying that I'm clearly being paid off. Now, you know, if that really is the case, I would like to know where that money is going, because I've not seen or received any, you know, some actual like payroll or some actual salary. I have not, nor am I aware of. So there is missing money. I would like to know about it, because some people seem to know more about it than I do, which is rather interesting. Besides that, we have video ideas and a range of different stuff that can be looked at bit by bit, and it'll just happen that some of the map analysis videos do focus away from Caden and more so on other people, even if other people think that those certain individuals aren't linked with the case, but we just do it bit by bit. You know, at the end of the day, as long as it's a theory and an idea and just an opinion, it can't do much wrong. With appropriate language and wording, it is what it is. People don't have to agree with it. Attacks, though, not necessary. I'll bring in some of those points and moments probably in the next video, maybe tomorrow or the day after, because I need to go in hard, I need to go in deep and focus there and just highlight it, because I don't want to give too much away right now. I don't want to spoil it. So just be on the lookout for it. And in regard to this video, it was just catching up on stuff elsewhere. It's not something I do lots of when there's lots of text and talk, but just every now and then, just to see where things are at. I know other people like to inflate and exaggerate. This is all that's done. That's incorrect, because, you know, as witnesses present, you'll see the type of coverage that I have done and the different aspects. So with that all being said, if you want to hit the thumbs up and share the video, it'd be much appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.